that. Now, I'm going to leave the last part. I'm going to leave the last part right here, right now. And I'm just very, very excited. And I kind of saw this coming already, but I didn't think it would go as far as it did. But man, that crowd went completely nuts. And I'm sure all of you were enjoying the living shit out of this. Okay? Let me get this out right now. Here is Nikki Bella. She's in a tag match in another epic handicap matchup against 4 other divas, right? And then there's Brie Bella on the outside. There's Brie Bella right there in the audience and everything else like that. And then Stephanie McMahon goes ahead and acts all stupid, all stingy, all a fucking bitch. She's the owner of she owns the company. What do you expect? Okay? So she goes ahead and says what she wants and everything. And then it's funny to me how they had to censor it the second time, but oh well, it happened when Brie Bella called Stephanie, "You're such a bitch." And then Stephanie goes ahead and turns around, and then Stephanie goes ahead and slaps the living shit out of Brie Bella. And you know what? The first thing that came to my head when that happened, I said, you know what? That's wrong. And she knows that's wrong, and somehow something is going to happen where there's going to be a lawsuit involved and all this other shit. So, Brie Bella gets escorted out of the building. Stephanie slaps the living shit out of Brie Bella, and then Nikki Bella gets her just desserts and all that other crap, and then everything goes down. Now, before you know it, after that, here comes Flo Rida. Like, everyone gives a shit about that, right? Flo Rida comes in. Here I was too busy thinking, you know what? I'm going to go to the bathroom and take me the biggest dump of my fucking life. So here I am. I'm done. I get out of the bathroom. And then all of a sudden, what the fuck's going on here? JBL wants to make a prediction. And then before you know it, there's Stephanie talking to a bunch of people. I don't know who they were exactly, but when I saw the badges in their hands, I'm like, oh my fucking God. Are you gonna tell me you're going to go ahead and talk to Stephanie? Is this the police talking to Stephanie McMahon on national television on Monday Night Raw and everyone's looking at it? Oh my God. So I'm just sitting back, relaxing. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And then mentioning the whole thing about what happened with Brie Bella. Because remember, keep in mind, Stephanie may be the dumbest bitch on this planet. Well, she may not be that dumb, but you know what? The fact is that Stephanie McMahon did get slapped by Brie Bella when she was employed in WWE, okay? Naturally, if you're employed, you can strike whoever the fuck you want. You can strike your bosses. You can strike your employees. You can beat the shit out of a cameraman. You can throw the referee all around the ring. You can beat the living shit out of a cameraman with his own camera till he bleeds half to fucking death. That is employees right there. No trouble. You won't get arrested. Everything will be fine. But when you no longer work for the company, that's when you cross the line. Stephanie crossed the line. Stephanie slapped Brie Bella, and before you know it, Brie Bella did the smartest thing in the world by calling the police for assault and battery. That is like, oh my fucking God. And Stephanie's getting handcuffed by the cops. And the first thing that came out of my mouth, and I said this on Twitter, Stephanie should be used to handcuffs. After all, she got banged by Triple H, for crying out loud. So that's the funniest thing I've ever put on Twitter in my fucking life. Holy shit. Stephanie gets escorted. Triple H is just being Triple H, is not even worried about this. And Stephanie's all scared. Is, oh my God, utter. Oh my God, it was the most funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Remember that whole little embarrassment that happened with Stephanie that involved Vicky Guerrero? You can forget about that. That doesn't even cut it anymore. Because Stephanie McMahon getting arrested on national television because she slapped the fan. She slapped the fan. You can't do that. You do that, you get arrested. Okay? Big example, CM Punk. CM Punk did slap a fan, right? And on television, of all things, and did get punished for that. That was for real, okay? So pretty much, this was a little bit of a similarity, if you will. So Stephanie McMahon, goes ahead and gets arrested and gets in the car and leaves, and Triple H is all, calm down, Steph, calm down. And then here he's all, my family comes first and everything in that particular nature and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, Triple H is about to go ahead and leave, but he doesn't, because he has to stick around because it's what's best. It's what's best for business. And you know what? Everybody was enjoying the living shit out of what happened to Stephanie. And you know what? Stephanie should be used to being in handcuffs. I mean, after all, she's married to Triple H, for crying out loud. I mean, they've had a lot of kicky things happening. Hey, come on. You see the handcuffs? And I also read something on Twitter. Somebody put out something that said, Triple H is going to be behind Stephanie. Well, of course, Triple H will be behind Stephanie, especially when she's in handcuffs, for crying out loud. Oh, God, that is truly the greatest Raw moment in the history of WWE Raw. You just could not help but talk about Stephanie McMahon getting arrested at the hands of Brie Bella, and that was smart. That was very, very smart. I didn't think it was going to happen that way, but my God, they took it a little too far. And brother, it was a fucking shit, okay? So, all I know is, I can't wait to see how this whole thing with Stephanie McMahon, with fucking Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, Triple H, we're going to see how all this comes into play. Who knows? The board of directors may go ahead and assign a new general manager, which I hope to God they do, because, come on, they can't exactly run the company like, they think that, they know what's best for business. They were stupid enough to go ahead and just allow Stephanie to go ahead and go out there and slap a fan. And let's be honest, she slapped a fan. No, Furman, that's Brie Bella. She slapped a fan. No, but it doesn't matter. She struck her. She slapped a fan. Let's get that out of the fucking way. If Stephanie slapped me in the fucking face, I would sue her for over $250 million for slapping me in the face at the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas on July 29th when WWE comes to the American Bank Center. WWE SmackDown. My fucking God, I just did a promotion right here, right now. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this edition of the Main Event Talk. And I had to get this out of the way because it was worth it. I had to talk it. I had to say it because, my God, Brock Lesnar coming out with Paul Heyman giving unquestionably one of the best promos I've heard in a long, long time. And then Zack Ryder winning against Fandango and having two gorgeous women on his arms. Lucky fucking bastard. And then, let's see, what else happened besides that? I think I mentioned something else, didn't I? Okay, Cesaro's no longer a Paul Heyman guy. Wow, I don't know what to say about that, but I'll probably get more into it later on, and, everything else like that in the next episode of the Main Event Talk. And also, by the way, the new Nation of Domination. Yeah, I don't really see that. I really don't want it to be a new Nation of Domination. I prefer something a little bit more original and not something that's already been done. Please, okay? I like it, but, let's, turn the page a little bit. Speaking of turning the page, AJ Lee getting her ass beat by Paige turning heel, and all I know is it's going to be epic to see how all this comes into play. And then, of course, the whole thing with Stephanie McMahon getting arrested. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my fucking life. I just kept laughing throughout the entire time. And I know everybody was tweeting about Stephanie getting arrested. I know everybody was mentioning the comments about the fucking handcuffs, about how she's so scared. There was even a picture that I saw on Twitter. I think it was called Orange is the New Black. And if you see right in the middle, somebody put Stephanie's face right in the middle of that pick. I was like, wow. I'll probably, I actually have that pick on my phone right now. I'll probably post it later on Facebook, and then probably post it on Twitter as well. That was some fucked up shit. It was crazy, but I loved it. But nonetheless, guys, thank you for listening to this audio edition of the main event. So I just had to get this out because it was just so funny to talk about. And I wanted to let everybody know about it effective immediately because this was just so fucking hilarious. You just could not help but laugh about it. You just could not help but laugh about it. But you know what? Stephanie deserved it. She deserved it. She slapped a fan. Let's get that out of the way. Once again, she slapped a fan. Hashtag slap the fan. That's what happened, okay? And there is one more thing I want to do before I go. If Triple H believes in his mind, and this is me talking, my thought, if Triple H believes that Brock Lesnar is going to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and the championship goes to the Authority, I got news for you. Paul Heyman, if he and Brock Lesnar walk out with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, I can guarantee you Brock Lesnar is going to turn on Triple H. I see that coming. Because remember, the Authority wants the championship to come to him. And if the championship is with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, that's all the power that they need. And at SummerSlam, John Cena better not lose the championship to Brock. Because if that happens, the Authority may think he's got Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, right there in his hands. But Brock Lesnar did not forget about breaking Shawn Michaels' arm, or Triple H's arm, and defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Triple H, remember, nobody controls the Beast Incarnate, not even Paul Heyman. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this very interesting episode of the Main Event Talk. And all I can say right now is this. Here comes the pain at SummerSlam. Why? Because I can and I want to. Any questions? Enough said. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go ahead and tell the world about Stephanie being in handcuffs, even though Stephanie McMahon is used to being in handcuffs anyway. Thank you for listening.